librarians at Anderson and Bethany Library have really missed talking to you about all the great books we've been reading. So welcome to our virtual program, Book Blurbs, Social Distancing Edition. Just because we're keeping our distance doesn't mean a good book can't bring us all together, as long as you have your library card.
Hi, I'm Colette, and I'm going to talk to you about Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in a new fantasy series. It's got magic, shapeshifters, vampires, fairies, angels, demons, ordinary humans, and more. The story follows Bryce Quinlan, a 20-something, more human than not young woman with a good job, great friends, and no real plans for her life beyond partying tonight and making it into work tomorrow. Everything changes when her roommate best friend is murdered in their apartment, along with most of her werewolf pack. Devastated, Bryce's life goes on autopilot for a while until someone else is murdered in the exact same manner. Due to her work contacts and connections to the first murder, Bryce is partnered with Hunt, an enslaved fallen angel, to solve the crimes. You'll find action, adventure, magic, mystery, and romance in this great read. I really loved the strong female lead character, the well-written relationships, and I can't wait to read more in this great new series.
Hi, I'm Matt. Hope you're having a good summer, this COVID summer. If you're looking for cinematographic verite, this is not it. You should look further. But if you're looking for something to take your mind off of the world we're living in today, I think Tremors is for you. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward star as two country handymen who will lead a cast of zany characters to safety in this exciting sci-fi creature company. Just as Val McKee, Bacon, and Earl Bassett Ward decide to leave Perfection, Nevada, strange ramblings prevent their departure. With the help of a shapely seismology student, Finn Carter, they discover their desolate town is infested with gigantic man-eating creatures that live below the ground. The race is on to overcome these slimy subterraneans and find a way to higher ground. In this enjoyable thriller, co-starring Michael Gross and Reba McEntire. All this and Reba McEntire too. Gotta see it.
Hi, my name is Karen, and I just finished reading the book St. Francis Society, Wayward Pets. The author is Annie England Noblin. I found this book to be a compelling read. I didn't want to put it down. It takes place in current time, with some chapters flashing back to the 80s. May has never met her birth mother. When May was 18, she wrote letters to her birth mother. The letters were returned. May wonders why her mother didn't want her. May doesn't know that her mother didn't receive the letters. May receives notification from her mother's best friend that her mother has passed away. She goes to the funeral and finds that her mother has a lot of friends. The next day, she finds out she inherits her mother's house, Volkswagen Bug, and a cat. A friend of her mother gives her a job at the knit shop. Being with her mother's friends, the St. Francis Society, and finding some pictures helps her learn about her mom and herself. Although most of the book is light and funny, there are serious issues covered: teenage pregnancy, adoption, poverty, and domestic violence. Title, again, is St. Francis Society for Wayward Pets.
Hey guys, I'm Jeremiah, and I admit I don't read a lot of true crime, but this one caught my eye. It's called American Sherlock: Murder, Forensics, and the Birth of American CSI by Kate Winkler Dawson. It's a biography of Edward Oscar Heinrich, who was an early pioneer of forensic science in the 1920s. He helped establish techniques like blood spatter analysis, polygraphs, fingerprinting, and handwriting analysis, some of which are still used today. And it's not just one case, but a collection of several true crime cases that Heinrich pieced together. For being an early genius in his field, and well ahead of his time, he soon became pinned as the American Sherlock Holmes. Despite all his success, the book also talks about some of his personal family issues, his financial struggles, and dealing with other amateur criminologists. Heinrich was so good at crime scene investigation that he started to attract rivals and imposters. His techniques were sound, but he ran into problems when it was time to convince a jury. People were very skeptical of his new scientific techniques. I found the parts of the book about skepticism of science, the rejection of science, still relevant today, 100 years later. In 2018, UC Berkeley opened the Bancroft Library Archive, and the author of the book, Kate Winkler Dawson, had access to Heinrich's records, evidence, and journals. The man literally saved everything, which I'm guessing made the book a lot easier to write. A lot of the cases took place during the 1920s Prohibition era, which made the book very appealing. It's also a surprisingly quick read. Dawson provides historical context to each case, but doesn't get too bogged down in the details. Rather, the forensics and Heinrich's work is really the true star of the book. So for all you true crime fans, mystery fans, Sherlock Holmes fans, history buffs, and CSI fans, I really enjoyed American Sherlock by Kate Winkler Dawson, and I hope you will too.
I'm Kim, and this is my latest read from Lincoln City Libraries. Ali Wong is a stand-up comedian, writer, and actress. She's released 2 Netflix comedy specials, Baby Cobra in 2016 and Hard Knock Wife in 2018. She performed each of those comedy specials while very, very pregnant. She also wrote, produced, and starred in the Netflix movie Always Be My Maybe. Currently, Ali Wong is a main cast member of the TV series American Housewife. In 2019, Ali Wong released her autobiography entitled Dear Girls. Written as letters to her 2 young daughters, the tone and content of the book are very similar to Ali's stand-up comedy. The disclaimer on the back of the book states, "Dear girls, you are prohibited from reading this book until you are 21 years old." If you enjoy raunchy, in-your-face, provocative comedy, Dear Girls might be just up your alley. In the book, Ali discusses her younger days as a wild child, her sexually promiscuous past, and her childbirth experiences, all in pretty graphic detail. She also talks a lot about the challenges of making a career in stand-up comedy and the new challenges that she and her family are facing now that she's made it in the entertainment industry. As an Asian American woman in stand-up comedy, Ali Wong is a trailblazing pioneer. She continually challenges herself and others by simply being her. And by the end of the book, you'll feel like you know Ali Wong really, really well. Maybe even a little too well. Sometimes shocking, often hilarious, and always entertaining, Dear Girls is a great summer read.
Hello, I'm Jody. I want to tell you about this book, 10 Minutes, 38 Seconds in the Strange World, and it's by English-Turkish author Elif Shafak. Though the book begins with Tequila Leela having just been murdered, this is not the dark psychological thriller that you would expect. With the mystery of who killed her as a backstory, this is really a story about people finding tender friendship in their toughest times. The novel gets its title because the primary narrator, Tequila Leela, experiencing 10 minutes and 38 seconds of heightened awareness. It's the time after her heart has stopped beating, but her brain is still functioning. And during those 10 minutes and 38 seconds, Tequila remembers the series of events that brought her from a conservative childhood in the provinces to being trafficked in Istanbul's historic street of brothels. She also remembers how her life intersected with the lives of her friends, all of whom self-identify as social outcasts, and all drawn to her because of their beautiful souls. As a reader, you're going to find yourself cheering for the friends who found refuge in each other, creating their own chosen family. Most of the memories are related to heartwarming fragrances that come to mind for Tequila Leela, such as watermelon, special stew, and coffee. Both the author and the narrator realize that the characters are not social outcasts because of anything that they have lacking, but because sadly, their society doesn't understand their worth. It's their society's loss to not comprehend what amazing people the characters are. Just as she was able to recognize beauty when she saw it backdropped by a violent world, her friends were also able to see and share with each other their strengths and the hidden marvels that they discovered. Not supported by their biological families, they became their own family. That's the story of 10 Minutes, 38 Seconds in This Strange World by Elif Shafak.
Hey, I'm Carrie, and one of the best books I read this year was You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. You might recognize these authors from the books The Wife Between Us and An Anonymous Girl. This is another excellent psychological thriller. It's about Shay Miller, and Shay is stuck in a dead-end job. All of her friends have gotten married, had kids, moved away, and she is eternally single. But all that changes one day when she meets two ladies, the Moore sisters. The Moore sisters live a glamorous life. They have a great circle of friends, and they decide to take Shay under their wing. Suddenly, Shay has a great apartment, she's working her dream job, and she has a great social scene. She thinks her life is really coming together, but it's actually about to fall apart. If you like books that keep you on the edge of your seat, you'll love You Are Not Alone.
I'm Tracy, and I'm here to talk about Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. This movie is a sequel to The Suicide Squad from 2016, and you don't have to actually have seen that movie to enjoy this one. In fact, I think this movie is even better. There are three things I really enjoyed about this movie that I will tell you in no particular order. First, the cast was amazing. There are several veteran actors that you'll recognize from other films, as well as a great crop of fresh young talent that hopefully we'll be seeing more of. Second, I like the music a lot. It's very powerful and pumping and driven, and I think that if the soundtrack is good, then it will bolster the film. Third, I really appreciate the women empowerment theme that runs throughout this movie. That's something that's very important to me, and I feel like the action-packed, edge-of-your-seat thrill of the movie and the funny bits throughout will really make it so that guys will dig it too. So if you have a chance, I think that you should pick up Birds of Prey.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I want to tell you about a very interesting book that I read. It's called The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson. But first, a little back history about this story. Did you know that there used to be people, their skin was colored blue? They suffered from a rare skin disorder called metahemoglobinemia. And this would turn their skin the color of a robin's egg blue. And I have a picture of them right here. This is one of the actual Kentucky families. And you can see their skin. The dad has a robin's egg blue, and some of the kids do too. This story, The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson, is a fictionalized account of some of the last of the Kentucky Blue people. It's 1936. The Depression is at its worst, and the Kentucky people are the poorest of the poor. Cussie Carter and her coal miner Pa are some of the last of the Kentucky Blue people. They endure the usual hardships of the time, poverty and starvation, but because of their peculiar color, they also endured cruelty, prejudice, superstitions, and their lives were constantly under threat from some of the other hill folk. 19-year-old Cussie is a pack horse librarian. She delivers books, survival guides, reads to those who can't, and much more for those living in the remote hills of Kentucky. Some of those folks treat her kindly, others fear her blue color, and even a small few like to hunt the blue people. Fortunately, she has a pack mule named Junia that saves her life more than a couple of times. There are as many ups and downs in this story as there are hills in the Appalachians, so saddle up for this wild ride with Cussie and Junia and learn more about the Kentucky Blues and the pack horse librarians. You're gonna love this story. Giddy up, Junia! Here we go!
Thanks. This is Steph. I recently discovered a newer series on accident. There are 2 books in it so far, and the first one is The Way of All Flesh. It's an historical crime novel by Ambrose Perry, which is actually a husband and wife team. He, a crime novelist, and she, a medical historian. It takes place in 1850s Edinburgh. Will Raven is a young medical student with a suspicious past that he'd rather keep secret. He's given an opportunity to apprentice with the Dr. Simpson, a renowned obstetrician. Sarah Fisher is Dr. Simpson's housemaid. She has all of Raven's intelligence, but none of his privileges. After 2 young pregnant women are found dead under similar and uncertain circumstances, Raven and Sarah have to team up to protect Dr. Simpson's reputation and discover what or who caused their deaths. This series actually reminds me a lot of Anne Perry, both because of the time period and also because of the strong characters. I admit I am a sucker for strong, intelligent female protagonists. If you too are a sucker for strong, intelligent female protagonists or enjoy historical crime fiction, definitely give this one a try.
If you're interested in any of the items we talked about here today, you can find them on the attached book list. Put them on hold and pick them up at your local branch. And next time you're in, let us know what books you'd recommend. After all, if you know about a good book, you should pass it along.